Cracker Barrel's new logo now looks like its old logo. Why do people care so much about a symbol? Welcome to Sharpening Arrows, where we train teens to think biblically about life and politics. I'm your host, Victor Jakes. Now, this is an episode of Pointed, where unlike most of the time, I keep it short and to the point. I want to make sure every week, no matter how busy the week gets, parents and teens, that you have a chance to flex your thinking muscles together. Now, if you've been following the online news, one of the major controversies this week involved the restaurant Cracker Barrel. On August 19th, it unveiled a new logo that was plain and boring, in my opinion. Customers were outraged. The company's stock price fell. It was also widely mocked. And less than 10 days later, it announced a return to its original logo, which featured the old timer, also known as Uncle Herschel, who was a farmer in overalls, and an actual Cracker Barrel. And those have been part of the logo since 1977. Let's have a pause point right there. Why was there so much controversy over a logo, over a symbol? Take a moment to think about it. Let me offer this from political scientist Donald Lutz. He said, what a people share are symbols and myths that provide meaning to their existence as a people and link them to some transcendent order. The shared meaning and the shared link to some transcendent order allow them to act as a people to answer such basic political questions as, how do we decide what to do? By what standards do we judge our actions? Through what procedures will we reach our collective decisions? What qualities or characteristics do we strive to encourage among ourselves? What qualities or characteristics do we seek or require of those who lead us? Far from being a repository of irrationality, shared myths and symbols constitute the basis upon which collective rational action is possible. End quote. And I know that was a lot. It was a really rich quote. So I'm just going to highlight a couple of parts again. Lutz says that people share symbols and myths that provide meaning to their existence as a people and link them to some transcendent order. Far from being a repository of irrationality, shared myths and symbols constitute the basis upon which collective rational action is possible. Now, if you think about that quote, what happened with Cracker Barrel makes a lot of sense. People aren't just worried about what the logo looks like, they're worried about what the logo says about what the restaurant is becoming. Now, let's step back and take that much broader. Let's take it and apply it to our country. Here's a question to discuss. If symbols provide meaning to a people, what happens when those symbols are changed or torn down? Now, I'm not going to get into it because it's a short episode, but there has been a concerted effort, successful in many places around the country, to tear down statues of people involved in the Confederacy, yes, but also Christopher Columbus, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. What would happen to our country if those symbols, those statues, are changed and torn down? If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. You can also watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/@sharpening-arrows. Please take a moment and also share this podcast with your friends and Christian community. Stay sharp and give God the glory. I'll see you next time.